please come forward. Mr. Schmeltzer.
George Schmeltzer, I do apologize for having spoken on the last one. You made it clear that you could only speak on one, but this was the one that I came down for. It's been 25 years or more since I've spoken about oil. I thought it was a thing of the past. I thought we had done our job and buried it, but now it is back again. I've spoken with some members of the school board. I've spoken with most of the city council. And from the city council, I've been mildly, and I say that, mildly rebuked for bringing up an issue before all the information is out there. All of you who I've spoken with said, George, calm down. Once this happens and that happens and this happens, then all the information will be there. And when I ask you guys, to get out there and be skeptical and start asking questions, well, the data doesn't exist yet. We can't take a position yet. We don't know the answers yet. But that's not what E&B Oil is doing. I'm sitting back and waiting for the information. But E&B is out there in the community. They're talking with the school board. I think there's a subcommittee at the school board deals with them. I expect you guys have talked with them. Of course, the city manager has talked with them. But I don't know anything about what's going on. I was invited through the automatic invitation system to a Morongo gambling venture out of Hermosa Beach. Well, I love that. I mean, that's what community, that's how you get notified of things. I had a notification in email of an upcoming meeting of the Planning Commission late in February. I had another automatic update of what was happening at the City Council 2 or 3 weeks. Did I get an update on this tonight? No. Should I have been concerned? The only reason I'm not concerned is because I sent the mayor an email and he said, hey, here's the parameters. It's kind of small. We're just going to talk about process. This is the most important thing that will hit Hermosa in 25 years, 50 years perhaps. Not notifying people of this in the way that one was notified by the Parks and Recreation, by the community of things like a trip down to Palm Springs is a misplacement of priorities. This was important. And I think you failed the first test of getting people out here. There's a couple things that you have to keep in mind. You talked here tonight about tidal waves. We've talked about earthquakes. We've talked about shootings in the school. Probably nothing can be done ultimately to stop all of those things. But you're entering into one of the big threats to communities that you have it in your power to stop. And that is the drilling of 35 oil wells less than a quarter of a mile from here, which will add a whole another layer, a whole other dimension to the health and safety issues that you were talking about here tonight. By the way, I have a site for a school. It's called the City Yard. And in the purchase of one piece of property, you've connected with South School. That's what that property ought to be used for, not to build 35 oil wells and threaten the health and safety and the air quality of this community. And it has to start here. I'll done in just a moment. So while I'm waiting for this information, E&B Oil isn't waiting. They're hiring people in this community to go out to every meeting, everywhere, to talk about oil. Well, I'm sitting back taking your advice and waiting for the information to come in. Well, I've stopped because they haven't stopped. They're moving forward. And I just putting you on notice that at least as one person, I will be at every meeting, every time it comes up. I'll find ways to know when it's being spoken about, and I'm going to take my 3 minutes every time, if it takes the next 5 years, to make sure that the people of Hermosa Beach understand what's happening when they talk about putting 35 oil wells within a quarter mile of this site. Thanks for the opportunity.